to do those lessons I talked about. We're going to do a lesson on the history of Halloween since it just passed, and since y'all already learned about the Day of the Dead. We're going to do a little compare and contrast, okay? So we're going to complete this KWL chart. I'm going to show you a video, and as you watch the video, I want you to attempt to fill in the chart, and I'm going to give you 2 minutes to fill in what you already know about Halloween. If you have a piece of paper, please go ahead and seat. Bring your paper over when you're done. At the top of the paper, there's a topic line. Can you put Halloween on that line? Thank you. I'll give y'all 1 more minute. Yes.
Yeah, I need to show you what
Okay. Everybody can put their pencils down.
I had to erase something.
Finish up your last line.
You're not gonna
Turn
write
your
anything?
attention to the screen in front of you. So the objective for today, by the end of this lesson, you will be able to complete the Learn section of this KWL chart about Halloween, about the history of Halloween, and we will compare some similarities that I have found between Halloween and Day of the Dead. So to start off, what somebody name something you know or you think you know about Halloween? Yes, sir. No, not Day of the Dead, Halloween. What do you know about Halloween?
a lot of people wear costumes.
You wear costumes. What else?
People dress up to go get candy.
You dress up to go get candy, trick or treating. What else?
What I know about Halloween is the day that kids dress up in costumes to go trick or treat with their parents. Also, what I know about Halloween is it's like you celebrate it, like the people that's in it.
Celebrating people that's dead. What else?
You go to a lot of cool parties.
You go to a lot of cool parties.
It's on October 31st.
It's on October 31st.
I'm not sure if it's true. I just saw on Facebook saying people dress their children costumes and the spirits won't take them away.
Okay, that's fine. Last thing.
It's the devil's birthday.
It's the devil's birthday. All right. So this is what you believe you know to be true about Halloween. So, let's get this one. All right. So I'm going to play a video for you. Now this computer doesn't have the sound, but I'm gonna hit the buttons at the same time, and I'm gonna hope that I can get the sound and the picture to line up. If not, I'll just play it on here, and you're just gonna have to be really, really, really quiet.
All this start.
When most people think
Give me 2 seconds. Technically. Alright, I'm gonna try that one more time. There we go.
when most people think of Halloween, they think of trick-or-treating, parades, bobbing for apples, and other family-friendly activities.
So while you're watching this, I want you to write down
the true story
something
behind
and
the
wonder.
origins of Halloween. It all goes back some 2,000 years to the
As well as the
ancient
learn.
Celtic festival
So if you
known as
learn
Samhain,
something, write it
celebrated on
down.
November 1st. On the night before Samhain, people believed that the dead returned as ghosts. They would leave food and wine on their doorsteps to keep roaming spirits at bay, and wear masks when they left the house so they would be mistaken for fellow ghosts. The Christian church turned Samhain into All Saints' Day, or All Hallows, in the 8th century. The night before became All Hallows' Eve, later shortened to Halloween. You've heard of trick-or-treating on Halloween, but what about souling or guising? All three of these traditions originated in medieval Britain. On All Souls' Day, November 2nd, the needy would beg for pastries known as soul cakes. In return, they would pray for people's dead relatives. This was called souling. In the medieval Halloween tradition of guising, young people would dress up in costume and accept food, wine, money, and other offerings in exchange for singing, reciting poetry, or telling jokes. In 19th century America, Irish and Scottish immigrants revived these old traditions. The result was trick-or-treating. At first, it was much more about the tricks, in the form of pranks and hijinks, than the treats. It wasn't until the 1950s that the custom took on its current family-friendly, kid-centered form. Today, Halloween is a big business, with U.S. consumers spending more than $2.5 billion on costumes.
Trick-or-treating again, and then over time, it's converted into what we know as Halloween.
Halloween.
So, can somebody tell me something that they put in the, I want to know what you put in the W column, because we didn't go over that part. So what did you write in the W column if you wrote anything? Yes. What's your name?
Kiera.
Kiera. While the video was playing or before we started it.
Why the name keeps changing?
Why does the name keep changing? Why do you think the name keeps changing? Why do names change? When you don't like it? Yeah, that's one thing. Why do names change? Why do you think names change?
Because if the name is too long, baby could be short.
Okay, so that's why, that's why some people have nicknames. When you don't want to have to keep telling people your full name, if your name is really long, they just say, just call me such and such. Or when someone can't pronounce it and they mess it up, you like, just call me this, so you don't mess your name up. Who else wrote something in Wonder? I didn't know that.
Well, we're getting from a very young body. Where do they get the double birthday?
That is a good question. I didn't see that because I watched several videos and I didn't see that. The only reference to the devil that I found was when I was talking about when they mentioned jack-o'-lanterns, which I didn't include, but it's named as a jack-o'-lantern, which the little pumpkin, when we carved pumpkins. Yeah, when we carved pumpkins, the thing I found out about that, I didn't include it because I just saw it yesterday. It was named after a real guy, but he was very, very bad. So
That's why
yeah, so he was a really, really bad guy. And according to the story I watched, they said he was so bad that when he died, he went to hell, but then he got kicked out.
What?
That's how bad he was. The devil kicked him out. And then when he kicked him out, it said that when they originally did jack-o'-lanterns, they used turnips, which is it's a vegetable. It's a hard vegetable. It has like a green sprout, like an onion would, but it's purple and it's kind of like an oval, like a teardrop shape. And they would carve them out because they would look like shrunken heads when they carved them out because turnips are so small.
Oh.
But then I don't know where the transition carried over to pumpkins because this time of the year is when we harvest pumpkins. Kids started carving them out of pumpkins instead. So at first they would carve faces into the into the turnip and put a light under it to ward off Jack. But then we turned it into pumpkins. So
like say.
that's the only reference, to answer your question, that was the only reference to the devil I saw with the history of Halloween. What else did you put in Wonder? Yes. Class.
Yes.
What did you put in Wonder?
What I wonder is why do people work for the candy and the trees?
I mean, they wasn't trying to get them for free. It was entertainment. The kids wanted extra stuff, so they entertained people. It's like when you go to a festival and you see like a juggler and you see a little can in front of him, he's entertaining you because he's trying to get some money. It was the same thing.
So back then people really believed in ghosts.
Yeah.
I know. Ghosts is
Anybody else? Last person for Wonder. Yes. Class.
Yes.
It's very rude to talk while somebody is talking.
Why do people try to scare people on Halloween?
I don't know. Why do you think they try to scare people on Halloween? That's that was in the trick or treat part. Why do you think they want? Why do you think it's that they play pranks on there?
Because they probably didn't want to give them a chance, so they got tricked.
Maybe. I mean, I didn't see that. I mean, that just was something that derived out of the name trick or treat.
Oh, what?
That was just something that derived out of the name. When I say that, I mean when the trick class.
Yes.
Somebody asked a question. I'm trying to answer it. It might be a question that you had. He asked me, why do they play pranks? I don't necessarily know. But when trick or treating came back around, the trick part was a main portion. Have any of you ever played a prank on Halloween?
No.
No?
I have.
Yes. I have.
What did you do?
I TP'd somebody's car
What was that? Like
when I was young and I didn't know no
When you
better.
put tissue, like, or.
Yeah, when you put tissue, like, you know, when you decorate for Halloween, you make it look all mummy-like. Yeah. And when we were at work, when we were in school, like one time we TP'd our teacher's like desk.
I put cobwebs in my mom's big spiders.
See, that's not cool. I don't like spiders. Okay, I need 3 people to tell me something they learned about Halloween. Somebody I haven't heard from already. Who haven't I heard from? Marvin.
Stop.
Tell me something you learned from Halloween.
And that hurt me.
Come on. Give me one thing. I only need one thing. I'll come back. You just gave me a question. I need somebody who hasn't spoken. Come on. I know who hasn't spoken already. Come on. Give me one thing you've learned about Halloween. Class.
Yes.
Say it again.
That Halloween 2,000 years ago that you could tell Joseph and poems.
Halloween started over 2,000 years ago, and one of the aspects was jokes and poems. Okay. Somebody else that I haven't heard from.
The Halloween names kept changing. I never knew that it was a different Halloween. That Halloween was called different.
Okay, you didn't know that they had so many names. Yes, ma'am. I've heard from you.
I said Halloween started over 2,000 years ago.
Something else. We heard that part. Give me one more thing. They wear costumes blending with ghosts. Okay. People who I have heard from, because y'all are so ready to talk.